Hello, welcome to another devlog. It's been quite a while since last devlog, cause unfortunately I haven't had much time to work on the game lately. But anyway, I added a few things. One of the first things I did is I fixed the issue that chunks wouldn't load sometimes and the game would completely bugger out. So that's fixed now. Chunks can just load perfectly now and nothing will happen. The second thing I did is I also added the system that I can turn off the lighting so chunks will load quicker. You'll see like that in a minute. But the big thing I added is, you might already see it a bit, you can see it over there a little bit. I added mountainous terrain, or I added regions that mountainous terrain will generate. So if you're in a region, a mountain region, like you can see over here, mountains will generate and they can get very high up. Currently the height cap is at 400 blocks up, so why 400? I think I want to make it why 450 maybe, but yeah. The current height limit in the game, by the way, is Y 512. So a chunk is 16 by 16 by 512. That's why, like, one of the reasons why the lighting calculation has to, or takes so long, because it has to loop over all those blocks like more than 15 times. So you can see the little delay. But I'll figure something out for that. As you can see, the higher up we get, the colder it sort of gets, and you can see like snow and stone here. I also added like mountain biomes that like generate based on height as well, on top of like temperature and humidity. But you can see it's sort of, it's like you'd expect it to be really straight if I do that way, like there's like a border, but I variated the min-max height just with a noise level. And also, if you look over there, I added something else, which I completely forgot about until I just looked over here. So, the floating islands had a height cap, but I didn't really liked how that looked because all the floating islands were just capped at the exact same Y level. So now, as you can see over there, the cap is also a variation, so it's also a noise level, and it's so over here like it goes that high, but over there the cap is that high, so any island that tries to generate over there doesn't. If you know what I mean. So yeah, that I think that looks pretty cool. So those are pretty much all the things I've added. I'll show you a clip of the mountain on a high render distance where I'm just flying around a bit more. As you can see, they're pretty big. They're pretty cool. So yeah, the mountains only generate in mountainous regions. And this place is a mountainous region, so that's where you can see them. But any place that is in the mountainous region, like, they won't spawn, so the terrain will be the same as it was before. Actually, if we go to the old world, I'll show you a clip of that, where I built those two houses on the hill. That place is an example of like a border between normal terrain and mountainous terrain. Because you can see the houses are still fine, like the terrain there is still normal, but if you look a bit further, the terrain looks a bit different than it did before, and that's because the mountainous region is starting there. Okay, well, never mind. You can see there's chalk borders here, so this is still in the mountainous region, but it's like on the edge of it. But yeah, you can see over here that like it used to be like really flat here and got flat out, but like it's like just like hills now. And this is like what used to be a floating island, but now it's sort of ingrained with the terrain. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. As you can see here, we're like on the top of the mountain here. You can see this whole freaking mountainscape over here with the snow. I want to eventually also add clouds and stuff, like volumetric clouds, that if you're like up here it's like really foggy sometimes, and like maybe sometimes also like sort of snowstorm or something, I don't know, but then you can like sort of see from like down there or something the clouds going through the mountains. You can also like really see how high it is, like we can't even see the ground level. Currently that's because I've got a render distance of like 24, and in my game that is pretty low. I mean, it's still pretty high, as in the computer doesn't really like it. But I think I want to add levels of detail for chunk generation, and also different things that like only generate when you get closer, like for example structures, and the lighting might only like generate in the like for sort of 24 chunk radius as we've got here, and then further it's like only like biomes and height, and then even further might only just be height, and it might be like also lower quality meshes where basically like the blocks become bigger, sort of. That's my idea for it, so that you can see like really far, because currently you don't see far at all. You just like, you can basically, if you're standing on top of a mountain, you can't really see like the whole world, right, like you'd expect to. You can only see sort of the rest of the mountain, barely even. Like, because I want to make it that if you're standing on top of the mountain and be, for example, a clear day or something, that you can just see really, really far, and you can see like the normal ground level. I think that'd be really cool. So a few of the biomes I added for the mountains as well is I added the snow caps, of course. I have two variations of that. The normal snow caps that will always generate above a certain height, and another snow cap that can like generate a bit lower based on like the temperature. I think that might be like what you're seeing here, or this might just be the normal noise. I think it's just a normal noise variation from the height cap, because these are definitely like the top snow caps. And then a bit lower down, like if it's like dry, like just this sort of cobblestone biome generates just like mountain cliffs. Desert can go up pretty high as well, so that's where you see the desert going up that high. But I think I might want to add a different biome, a different desert biome that is like desert mountains that can climb as high as like the desert here, but like then the high bits in the desert would be desert mountain. I guess you know what I mean. But so we've got the stony regions, but if the like humidity, for example, is higher, like where the stony region would generate, currently I just made a variation biome of the cold forest biome, so that would be the pinewood forest with like the mushrooms in it. I don't know if I've actually shown you that, but if I go over here you can see, or I'll just show you like in a clip of the thing. As you can see, there's like forest over there, and like the snow peaks like sort of coming out of it. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's see. Just fly over to it. Wait for everything to load. The chunk loading is so insanely slow with the freaking lighting calculation, so I really need to do something about that. But yeah, as you can see here, it's like the snow peak like coming out of the winter forest. I think it looks really good. Really cool. See like this huge high up forest with just like these snow peaks coming out of it. But yeah, that's about it for this video. So yeah, I hope you liked what you see, and I'll see you the next time in the next devlog, I guess. Bye bye.